Hey, what's up everyone? I wanted to do a project. I've been wanting to do it for a long time and I haven't, but now I'm going to tell you about it and then what I'm going to do. I got water bottles that have people saving for me. I don't know how many it's going to take. It's going to take about 1,000 of them, but I have people saving for me at work and they give them to me, and if I find them I'll get them and just save them up. What I'm going to do with them, I'm going to take the labels off and I'm going to hot glue all the lids on so they don't twist off. I am going to make a boat out of these. So I have a few ideas on how to glue them together. I'm going to use hot glue to make the whole boat. I'm going to glue them all together and we're going to see how this works. And I have the plans all up here, so I shouldn't hit my head anywhere very hard because I might just lose them. So on how I'm going to use them and how I'm going to make them and dimensions and everything, I got it all up in my head. So that's what we're going to do. Well, my idea didn't work out as good with hot glue because the problem is I had with the hot glue, it was too hot. When I would put put hot glue on here and then try to press it together, it would actually, wouldn't burn a hole in the bottle. It would actually cave in the bottle a little bit and it wouldn't really grip this bottle, which I don't know why it did before. It might have been a different glue or something, but it didn't work. So I was thinking, why not use like these? So I bought like 3 bags of these of low temperature. Maybe that, maybe it was too hot. So I tried that and it wasn't hot enough to even hold it, and it just pulled right apart. So what I'm going to have to do now is I finally figured out, it's going to take longer, but what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to use this caulking, and I'm going to put silicone in it. I want it with silicone, so I'll put a bead of silicone on here, and then I'll have to set them somewhere for it to cure, because this stuff will definitely work because I used it before, and you could barely pull it apart, and it wasn't even totally dry. So that's what I'm going to stick with. I'm going to use that, but I'm going to use the hot glue for the lids. I could put a dab of hot glue on there and that will work definitely. It could be the hot glue too. So I'm going to give it a shot. Alright, I got some that caulking, and I tried it on my idea here on a couple of bottles. So now I am going to try to pull them apart to see how much pressure it takes to pull it apart. If it doesn't, I have another idea. That's not good. That's like yeah, that pulls apart darn too quick. Way too easy. I think what I'm going to have to start doing, I think this is a latex caulk, has some silicone in it. So I'm going to have to redo it in a different spot. I could probably peel this stuff off and use 100% silicone and try those, because I'm thinking that's what I used a long time ago and it held really good, really good. So I'll get back with you my next step. Well, I tried it with the caulking, and there was adhesive, like latex caulk. It just pulled it apart. So now what I'm going to use is 100% silicone. This is made by Red Devil, and this is made by GE. And this stuff is really strong, like smell-wise. And I'm going to give this a shot with the bottles now, because I think this will work. So the next video you see is I'm going to have them glued together with these, and we're going to see what happens. So let's get trucking. Well, here we are. It's been about a week. I used 100% silicone on these bottles, and compared to the last stuff with the latex, we're going to see how hard it is to break it. If you can break it apart, see what the strength is. No. That's pretty strong, but it still doesn't want to hold. That's not very strong. But there you go. I don't know what I'm going to do now. All I can do is just do it anyways and see if it holds up with weight on it when I make the boat and everything, so it doesn't want to stick to something. I don't know why. See, this side is stuck pretty good. What I'll try to do as I'm making it, I'll clean the bottle and then I'll put the caulking on it and then I'll put it together, and that should give a better bond. So that's what I'm going to do. So that's about it. We'll see how it goes from now. I'll keep showing you step by step as I make them and stuff like that. Right now I got to hot glue all the lids on so they stay on really tight, and I don't want them falling off. So that's about it. We'll get the glue in now. Well, it's early in the morning. It's almost 6 o'clock, and I'm working on it. I got a pretty good amount done for the floor of it, and I have to work on it way up here because I was going to do it in the storage room, but how would I get it out the door? And I don't want to do it on the floor anywhere where people can mess with it or something like that. So I brought it up here where I got a lot of room. It's like maybe 12 by, oh, I got a lot of room up here, okay? But here's what I got so far. That's all of them silicone together. It's pretty good. It's 14 by 16. So you do the math. So that's the starting of the floor. I'm still going to go out another couple feet. I'm going to make it at least 6, maybe 7 feet long. So it's going to be it's going to be pretty long. So it's got to be buoyant. I figure the more bottles I put up on it, that'll distribute my weight more, because I'm going to put a piece of wood over the top to distribute my weight, and it'll be harder to push it down under. So far I have about 10 more bottles in there. I've used 3 tubes of caulking, and I still have to get all these bottles out of here. There's a lot of bottles in there. I have to take them home, put caulking, take the labels off, hot glue the lids on so they stay on pretty tight and they won't come off, and then just add them to the boat. This caulking is working really good. It's 100% silicone, so if it gets wet, it ain't gonna break down or anything like that when I put it in the water. So it's working really well. So I'm just gonna keep on going. Hey everyone, I've been working on this boat for last year, and I've been having everybody save bottles and everything like that. Well, I stopped working on it for like a long time in the wintertime, because when I glued the caps on, because I didn't want the caps to come off, the air in them condensed, because it shrunk, because when I did it, it was in the summertime. So now throughout the winter they shrunk and they crinkled. So I was afraid to glue them onto the boat, because when they expanded, when the weather got warmer, it would I was afraid it would pop the glue. So I stopped. Well, it's starting to get warmer now. It's like early spring, and I went through my box and I took all the ones that were like kind of crinkled down. You can see it's like misshapen. It's not perfectly round, see? And I have a lot of them like that. So what I did, I just took out the ones that were fine, and I've been working on them for the past couple of days. And here's what I got so far. I had to re-glue some of the things. Where I moved my boat, it kind of popped them. And it's been sitting back here for a few months, and I'm going to start working on it again. But this is what I got. That's the back part, and it's got to go all the way up to here. And that's a good distance of bottles. And I'm reinforcing the sides over here to make them a little stronger. I think that isn't in it. I'm reinforcing the sides and stuff to make them stronger, because they don't want it to go in when I put it in the water. But I'm going to have a wood base, like a real thin 1/4 inch plywood on the base, cut out. So I don't want it to flex as I put 1 foot or 2 feet right there. That's a lot of weight to be pushing on one simple area. I want my weight distributed, so that's why I'm going to put the little plywood thing in the bottom. And I believe that this is thick enough. It isn't going to sink very deep. And around the edges, I got it kind of good there. And I think I might come out a couple more rows or of bottles or not. But I got this this hot glue gun. The other hot glue guns, if I used a smaller one, it wouldn't get the glue hot enough, and it wouldn't use it. When I use it, it would use it up whatever made hot. It wouldn't constantly generate hot glue. So then I have the ones that we have here at work. They're like commercial ones, and it gets too hot. And when I put a bead of glue on there, it shrinks, it melts the plastic too much. So this one, it works pretty much perfect. I have two temperatures on it, and it generates enough heat to keep it warm, to keep the glue hot, and it's not too hot to melt the bottles to where I need them. So it's holding pretty good. And when I get this side on here, it'll hold it up even better, you know. And that's what I got so far. So I'll get back with you when I got to work on the front to make the peak part, you know, to go up like the V-hull, you know, boat or whatever you want to call it. So I'm gonna, it's not a V-hull, it's flat, but I'm gonna put the front on it to go up like a V. So that's what we got right now. I have the back part made up, you know, built up for the front. This is gonna be the front. I'm gonna put more support up here, and but that's it. That's the whole length of it. It's about 5.5 foot, maybe 6 foot. I bet you it's at least 6 foot long from tip all the way down. But that's about it. And the next one you're gonna, it's kind of sagging because the table it's on, it's from here to back here, and I was working on it. But I'm gonna reinforce it with some bottles up here, and go around with some more glue in different spots, and glue the heck out of it. And then probably the next video, yeah, the next video I'll be hauling it out to my truck. That's about it. So I got to get that done, and it'll be a little bit, you know, it ain't gonna take much. I have a couple hundred more bottles to use. I ain't gonna use them all, so I'll figure out what to do with them. I'll probably just recycle them. But until then, that's it. Look at that spider.
Yeah.
All right. Hi. 1.5, 2 years. Just it's gotta work. All right, it floats. No trouble. Come back, dog. You're riding home with me. Get. All right. Pull this out. My board needs to be more stiff, but it is seaworthy. Wow. So it does float. All right. So it works. My board needs to be more stiff. I got about 3 inches. If it was a stiff board, it would be up higher in the middle.
You might want to come in. His hole coming off. It's coming apart over there, behind you.
Right behind you.
Yeah.
It's coming all apart.
There ain't no way of standing.
Sorry, take
Well, you could see it was breaking apart out in the water. The bottom of the boat with that board was too flimsy, so right where I was sitting, it kind of busted apart. But you know what? I'm gonna fix it again. I'm gonna get some more caulking, and I'm gonna replace all the bottles and stuff like that. And I think I'm gonna have to make a better bottom out of some. I probably got some plywood at work somewhere around, and I'm going to reinforce it, make it stronger. I'm going to glue it back together, and we're going to try it again, because it's just really bugging me. It has to float. It has to work, because it worked pretty well out there before. But when me and my son took it up on the shore, I ended up ripping up a whole back part of it off. But I took it back into work, and I just set it there, and it's in a storage room for now. So we'll see what we got come Monday when I start working on it again, and we'll see what happens in a couple weeks. Maybe I'll get to float it again. So until then, I have to wait. Hang on, we'll see what we got. Well, I got it loaded up. I'm going down now. Going down the dock. And heading on down to the woods. It's a little bit of a drive, and our complex is pretty big. I think a lot of people are off today. I don't see anybody out here. You know, all grown in road here. I'm gonna try to turn this corner the best I can. That's where I have to go, up here. Pond's right on the other side of these trees. Now I want to go up just a little bit here. I think I'm going to walk right through there. Right through that, maybe right through here. Right through there. You can still see it matched down to when I was here before. I got a special boat hauler that I made. Pulls right on. There we go. Got that board. I reinforced the board with some side ones and stuff like that, and it's really strong. And this is my oar. I took a broom handle and a board and I bolted it to it. So then I got this box and I screwed a board through the box into the bottom, and I wanted the screws to go that way because I don't want to poke holes in my boat. And I put a rope on there. It's going to be like a sled. I'm going to pull it right through the woods. Right through there. And show you how it works. I don't want to bother anybody. It's the easiest way to get it through there. A couple of bushes in the way, though. Let it go. Started, so let's get it going. I don't have my flip-flops, man. I got my boots, and they're gonna get missing. Hung up on my rope. Alright. All I have to do is get on it, and I'll be set. Alright. I'm caught on some stuff. Need to push off. Push off. A lot of weeds in here, a lot of grass. Can't get going, there's too much crap. And sticks and stuff off the bottom.
It's not that deep. There's too many branches and trees. We're about that far from the top of my bottles, about 3 inches. It works fine. It's fine. It works. Nothing's breaking apart. Now it's getting a little deeper. Much better out here. About 3 foot. Success? Looks pretty good, guys. Yeah, it's only that deep. But there's so much grass out here, it's kind of dragging on the bottom of the boat. It's kind of clear over here, but I'm pretty much done screwing around. If you can fish in here, if there's fish in here, there's some big ones. Coming in. Hey guys, well, complete success. It held together really good. Now I can just pull it up out and I'll be done. I'll turn it around and head on out.
Well, that's it. That's the boat. It floats and it works fantastic. The only problem I had out there is it was so shallow. The grass grew up and it was so close to the surface that I had trouble paddling because the tops on the bottles would drag on it. But there was the part that I was off to the side a little bit. It was kind of opened up and it worked pretty well. And then there were sticks from trees and branches that were thrown in there. It kind of hit and it slowed me down a little bit, but it works. You know, it works really well. And that's about it. I'll probably just take it up to work, put it somewhere, cover it up with plastic, and store it. And if anybody wants it, they can have it. But I'd like to also thank for everybody that involved to helping me get the bottles. Joey, he got me almost like 90% of the bottles that I've had. And then you had Sarah, she gave me a ton of them, and Lacey, she gave me a bunch of them at work, and actually Brad, the owner, he gave me a few, and Rick and Ann, they gave me some, and the sad thing is Tracy worked with us for a lot of years, and she wanted so bad to see this thing float, but she ended up passing away. She went to the hospital with pneumonia and ended up having cancer, and she ended up passing away in the hospital. But she probably watched it when I was out there floating. So, anyways, I'm going to store it, like I said, you know, just keep it. I'd like to take it here because I got a nice deep pond here, or have a pond somewhere else and then float. I probably couldn't float it here because liability reasons or something, but I'm looking for a place to float it again, somewhere else I can float it, or even if you want it, you can come up here and get it and take it away in your truck and go float somewhere. Anyways, it worked fantastic, and it was about this far from the top of the bottles, like underneath, because my weight was distributed. It was about that far. It worked fine. So that's about it. Thanks for watching.